Hi everyone, I'm Nadia Holtz. Welcome to Vancouver Canucks preview for NHL betting. Last season was a nightmare for the Vancouver Canucks as they missed the playoffs for the first time since 2008. With us this morning to analyze this team's odds is expert handicapper Dave Golokoff. Dave, good morning.
Hey, how are you?
Good, excellent. Thanks so much. All right, so what happened with the Vancouver Canucks last season?
Well, the Canucks just they basically did last season what they're going to try to do one more year this season, and that's sort of just, they're one of those teams where the window of opportunity has closed for this cycle of players, this era, if you will. They hired John Tortorella to try and spark this veteran core one more time, and it simply didn't work out. You could fault the coaching because Tortorella came in and caused friction with a bunch of veteran players who never really tuned him in. You could say they tuned him out immediately. Or you could blame it on to the front office, who inexplicably traded away Corey Crawford at the NHL draft in the last offseason, and signaling a very bad message to the team on the ice. So it was a complete failure all around. The Canucks didn't do much last season. We're one of the worst teams in the NHL. Ended up trading away Roberto Luongo. And, we'll talk about their offseason in a second now, but it looks like this team is heading down and further down the standings as their window of opportunity is definitely closed.
Have they improved at all in the offseason?
Well, the Canucks are an interesting team. I think if I was to directly answer that question, I'd probably say slightly. Yes. I mean, they did sign Ryan Miller, who's probably an upgrade in net over what they had at the end of last season. But on the whole, this is a team who's expired. I mean, they need to go into a full-on rebuild, not try to patch things up with guys like Radim Verbata and Ryan Miller. Spending $6 million on Ryan Miller makes sense for a cup contender trying to get that final piece of the puzzle. But for the Canucks, I would rather have seen them, try to rebuild with Eddie Lack, Jacob Markstrom, see what they have with those young guys, and give younger players an opportunity, because this rebuild has to happen at some point. Mm-hmm. And what it looks like with the Canucks is they're just trying to stave it off and patch things up with duct tape and glue as much as possible. And I think that's actually going to blow up in their face as early as this year.
And where do you think they'll finish this year then, that said?
Well, I actually think the Canucks are one of the worst teams in the NHL right now. Or I think they will be this season. It's always tough when you have a group of veteran players who have competed for a cup, and now all of a sudden they know that they're not that caliber anymore. They know what it takes, and they know that they don't have it. So I think the Canucks are going to be in a tough spot. Ryan Miller is not the savior. Miller is a good goaltender, but he backstopped the Buffalo Sabres to a number of awful seasons. So he's not going to be able to save this team. The blue line is questionable. The offense is not very good. I think the Canucks really need to go into a rebuild, and they tried to push it off for one more year, but I think they're going to be pretty bad this year, and they're going to be forced into it at the end of this year.
Okay, Dave, we really appreciate your feedback. I wish you a great rest of the day.
All right, thank you.
For SBR Picks, this is Nadia Holtz.
The SBR Network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.